Hi, I'm Sonia and I help people take their power back. This video I want to talk about blanket affirmations and why they are useful and, in my opinion, important to have at the ready, and go a little bit deeper into changing your mindset. I wanted to say manifestation, but manifestation is not the right word, okay? The thing that when you're wanting to manifest something, the thing that you need to focus on is your thoughts, what's happening in your head, the stories that you tell, the thoughts that you have, the beliefs that you have, the things that come up in your own head that are describing things in your life. Okay? You have thoughts, you think certain thoughts about things that are based off of past experiences that formed beliefs, and that is how you are experiencing what you're experiencing now. So to experience something different, you have to change those thoughts consistently without wavering. I just did a video on wavering a couple days ago, in order to shift your experience. Okay, so the thing that's important to me about having like blanket affirmations, something like everything's perfect, or isn't it wonderful, or everything in my life is perfect, or I love my life, I always get what I want, things like that that aren't specific to specific things. So like money, I make this much money a week, or specific person, I'm in a committed relationship. That's specific, right? That's specific to something. Blanket affirmations you can use at any time. And why this is important is because everything is your mindset. Everything is your thought process. So when you start thinking things and it's not what you want to be thinking, you can stop that thought process by being like, isn't it wonderful? 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 The important thing is to not allow yourself to think the things that you don't want to be true. If you don't have a right off the bat replacement thought, stopping it is number one. You have to stop it, and throwing in, isn't it wonderful, or everything's perfect, or isn't it perfect, or isn't it amazing, or something, anything is, is a must, because it's getting this under control that is going to shift things for you. I also find when I get upset by things, it's way easier to go to those blanket affirmations. I've talked about it in the past. My go-to is usually, isn't it wonderful? If something upsets me, isn't it wonderful? 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 I'm not going to sit there and expect myself to have an affirmation to, I'm getting combat the problem. Like, I know myself enough to know that that's not going to work for me. It's not going to work. So when I start going down rabbit holes in my brain and it's like, nope, that's not true. Isn't it wonderful? 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 Sometimes I'll say, isn't it wonderful, like a few times. Sometimes I'll say it for 5 minutes. It's just, yeah, I'm not going to allow myself to think that, because I don't want that. Also, in situations where you don't know what you want to have happen, everything's perfect. Everything always works out in my favor. Those are great affirmations to, whatever's going to happen is going to be perfect. It's always perfect. I always get what I want. Quote unquote manifestation is a mindset shift, because everything that you're experiencing now is based off of repetitive thoughts you've had in the past. So now you need to choose different thoughts in order to change your experience. And as you change your thoughts, whether it's specific affirmations or more general affirmations, I use both. It's not one or the other. I remember when I started reading Neville and I started learning about Neville Goddard, he has a lot of different techniques, and I was under the impression that it's like, oh, this technique or that technique or this technique would work for me. And that comes from law of attraction stuff, right? And that's not what Neville was teaching. He was teaching different ways to, for lack of a better term, control up here. So when he was teaching revision, he wasn't teaching, oh, revise everything to get what you want. It's when shit comes up, you can revise it. Now, can you sit there and revise everything if you want to? If that's your form of how you deal with this, do you. I that's not how I do it. But like, it's a tool to that when you have a memory come up, and I made a video about this, you can go, yeah, no, that's not what happened. That was a bad dream. I use that one all the time. Like, no, this is what happened instead, right? Another one that is coming to mind is, I know Neville used to teach remember when. Remember when I was broke? Remember when things were hard? Remember when? If you're remembering when, that means you're in a state of mind, you're coming from a thought process of that shit's in the past and is no longer true. Is that how I think of everything in my head? No. But there are things that I will catch myself and be like, yeah, remember when that was a problem? It's not a problem anymore. These are all different ways to help you with your imagination, your thought process, your internal reality that keep you in the quote unquote state of the wish fulfilled. It's constantly choosing what you want to think. I used to think like, oh, it's impossible to, and I know I don't catch every thought. It's not every thought. It's when you are aware of it. And for me, I have taken my awareness off of this so much. I used to be very up here, but now it's I go more off of how I feel, like emotionally feel. If I feel good, I'm probably affirming things that make me feel good. How do I know that? Because your thoughts manifest your emotions. Your emotions are a reflection of what you're thinking. I've proven this to myself time and time again. When I start having shitty thoughts, I start not feeling good. So I feel myself getting upset and I go, what's happening up here? Okay, that needs to stop. If it's something that I'm like starting to spiral, I never spiral. I always have my thoughts under control. Isn't it wonderful? I never waver. You can decide these things are true for you. You can tell yourself that shit. You can literally tell yourself anything. You've been doing it anyway. You've been doing it anyway. If you can tell yourself it's hard to waver, or it's hard to not waver, you can tell yourself, I never waver. But it's a choice. And because you've never experienced never wavering, that's what you're going to do. Because that's what you expect to happen. Because of past experiences. When you choose to manifest something, you are choosing to negate the past experiences and choose something different without having any proof or evidence or anything to back it up. That's where that faith and trust comes in. If I do this, it will work. That's what all religions are. Every single religion, in my opinion. Like, religion is teaching you to do this. All of them, in their own way. It is a discipline of choosing that you're going to get what you want. Let me know if there's anything else that I can elaborate on this topic. Otherwise, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.